I remain your in-house motivational speaker, Benson Adema, reaching you live and direct from Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos is a commercial city here in West Africa. In fact, Lagos is the foremost commercial city in, if not in the entire Africa, but here in West Africa. I remain your in-house motivational speaker. Like I said, like I always say, I focus on personal development, peak performance, and life coach. You see, when I say I focus on personal development, this is the area I have been able to conquer. So I centered my motivation in this area. What do I mean by I have conquered this area? What I mean by this is that I came into this city as a zero before decimal point in terms of knowledge. I schooled in the rural area during my college, and I finished my SSC right there in the villa. I was nearly 21 years of old before I left my parents. I could remember I was so primitive that the first time I traveled to the city of Benin, when I was in Form 4, what we considered as SS1. That was the first time I got to know about a GSM phone. In fact, my first sight of GSM phone then was an amazing thing. I remember a particular, very rich Alhaji visited Benin because I was staying in one of the villages there. And then he was sharing, wanted to use that phone, and so he was looking for network everywhere. There was no network. I remember we walked barefooted for some 8 to 12 miles looking for network from Salah's camp to Ugbogi, Inagbogi in Okada. If you pass Okada and you get to a place called Bogi Express, it will lead you to Inagbogi in Benin City. It was so primitive. And then when I get down to the city of Lagos on the 7th of January 27, and I stepped my leg in the on the street of Magodo, it was an amazing sight. It's as though I was in London. So it was so bad at that. But when I got in this city, I was challenged by a young lady called Damilola Abegunde, who was at the age of 17, and I was already processing her admission to university. She challenged me a great deal. Not only do I seek admission to get to university and to upgrade myself, but I started reading books, inspirational books by Nigerian authors, and then I get to read American authors. And one of the greatest books that changed me was a book called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And the second part of that book is Why the Positive Thinker Gets Powerful Results. That book influenced my life a great deal. And from that moment up till now, I conquered myself through a personal development by reading one inspirational book and the other. I mentioned last week without boasting that during this lockdown, I've read about 5 good books, and I'm reading the 6th one at the moment. And one of the books that gave me another horizon at the moment was a book titled The Business of the 21st Century by popular Robert Kiyosaki. That book is a material that you want to read. Very, very powerful. So when I said I centered on a personal development, is the fact that I have been able to conquer myself through the power of a reading. That is why I could categorically said I centered my crusade on personal development, peak performance, and life coach. When we talk about peak performance is an area that emphasizes the need for an individual to operate at 90 to 100% in his own field of endeavor. In few days from now, I hope to share with you how far or what I do in my workplace, and then how far I have come. But very quick to that, the organization I work with started business or opened door to business exactly October 4, 2016. That organization opened her door with about 10 employees. And today, out of those 10 employees, it is only me and one other lady who is a front desk that is still remaining and working in that organization. It doesn't happen by coincidence. It means there is something we do that others don't do. I'm going to be sharing with you my secret in my workplace with you in the near future. But today, I will be sharing with you on what I consider seize the moment. Seize the moment. You see, what is happening in the world today is the fact that there is a fundamental or unexpected explosion in human approach to life and activities. So you need to seize the moment. But listen to this. Economic crisis is a necessary evil that has come to remind people or to wake people up to the realization that their means of income, their job, their business and investment is at risk. But this comes with advantage. The advantage is that when there is bad time or when times are bad, that is the time that big businesses or big entrepreneurs emerge. Because real entrepreneurs don't care if the market is up or down, but they are focused on creating better process and product. The same way real employee emerge during crisis, because real employee don't care whether the market is down or is up. They are focused on doing their job anyhow. Another fundamental thing is that when the times are bad, new businesses, new millionaires and billionaires are born. For example, nobody knows, or very few people know about Zoom Media before now. But with the pandemic, in the next few years, let's say 2 years from now, Zoom Media, the owner of that business, will become, if not the richest man in China. So when times are bad, millionaires and billionaires are bad. How do those millionaires and billionaires being bet during the time of crisis? is that they study the trend and then they build businesses that will run with the trend. But the smartest entrepreneurs build the business down, hoping that someday a crisis will come. And during the crisis, they will become the trend or the shout after. So listen to this. What has happened in the world today, or what is happening, is an exponential opportunity for sons of men to look beyond boundary of how they do businesses and think of the new way to do business. Listen to this. In the story of the Tower of Babel in the Christian Bible, I think that story is captured somewhere in Genesis chapter 6, or maybe Genesis 11 chapter 6, or verse 6 downward. He said, and the men assembled, they said, let's build a tower that will be high unto the heaven. That vision negates the vision of God. God said, go into the world, multiply, and subdue the earth. So the idea of multiplication is to expand geographically or vertically. But the sons of men were building the tower horizontally that we get to heaven. I don't know whether I put those words in the right dimension now. They were building tower that we go to heaven, whereas subdue the earth has to be spreaded. So God confused their language to restore them. Do you know what has been happening in the business world and in our activities over the years? We have people who are building businesses within a local government, within a state, and within a country. What COVID-19 has come to open our eyes to is that we need to build businesses for the entire universe. So, as I'm speaking to you this morning, we have friends joining us from United States of America, from UK, from England, from Russia, anywhere. Now, why is this so? This is a spread or subdue the earth and dominate that the God talks about at the beginning. But man didn't understand this, so we were building to the heaven. And then you see one church that we invest 1.something billion naira or dollars to build a church, a skyscraper, or a synagogue that we get to heaven. In fact, if I don't mind my word this morning, I will say it's a waste of resources. The kind of dominion that God wants us to occupy or to exercise is to build, to cover the entire universe. So when you spend billions of naira to build a synagogue that will occupy a people within the country, instead of spending millions and billions of naira to build a business on the internet that will reach out to USR, to other parts of the world where people have not heard about Christianity, then you are limiting the possibilities and the potential that God has given to us. So, I was listening to Adeboye of Redeemed Christian Church of God this morning, and I find out on Facebook alone, we have about 3-point-something 1,000 people that are listening to that on Facebook alone. Not people who are listening on the radios, not people who are listening on the televisions and so on. Before now, we need to enter a lot of traffic to get to redemption camp. So, look at the new dimension. You sit in the comfort of your house, you receive the message, you receive the same miracle, you connect to the same God through this media. This is the same thing that is happening in business world. Many people have spent millions of naira to rent houses or to rent office apartments in Lekki, in Banana Island, in Osborne Estate, in the Chevron Estate, in Magodo Estate, in Magodo, in Ikeja GRA, and so on, to build businesses. This is not the kind of domination that God wanted us. God wants us to reach out to the entire universe. So, glory or kudos to coronavirus that has come to open our eyes. Few days ago, after our seminar, or like 3 weeks later, I went back to Facebook to check how many people we have been able to reach. I saw that we have been able to reach about 200 and something people within 2 weeks. And people were listening to that message continuously. But if it is during the normal time, we spend a lot of money. Our expense to run our seminar run into 100,000 and so on, to assemble people in a house, give them food, give them water to drink and so on. How many audience we have? So Corona has given us an opportunity to reach out to the entire world, not just people within your geographical location anymore. Now that is not where I'm going. My concern is about you as an individual, as an organization, or as a government. Listen to this. You see, you need to seize the moment in your life. Corona has come to show us that the work you are doing and the business you are doing, if something of this nature happens and it continues for 1 year, you are going to be out of business completely. Or if you are an employee, if coronavirus continues for the next 12 months, you are going to be out of job completely. So, this should be an opportunity for you to think within and without. That what type of business do I need to set up now? Or what type of opportunity do I need to get myself involved so that if something like COVID-19 happen again in my entire life in the universe, I will stay afloat financially and not worried about whatever happened. This is the point that COVID-19 has come to open our eyes to. I must tell you, if coronavirus continues over the next 6 months, in fact, 80% of the entire world will be out of job. Because few days ago, we discovered that organizations that give millions of naira to their government are now sacking thousands of workers. Now, is that corporate social responsibility, or is that social corporate disaster? You donate money to government for your name to be heard, and you went back and sacked some of your workers. It's quite ridiculous. It tells you that if coronavirus or COVID-19 continue in the next 6 months, the whole chaos that will engulf the universe will be very, very dangerous. But do you know, there are some people that if coronavirus continue for the next 2 years, they will have enough to feed themselves, to feed their family, and to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, what do those people do different? What did they have that you don't have? How do they come to that point? How can you too come to that point where you can categorically say that whatever happened under the sun, I am financially free? This should be the thinking. And this is the moment that you and I need to seize. This is the moment that you and I need to ponder on. This is the moment that I am here to talk about this morning. How do you seize the moment? Remember in my last broadcast I said, opportunity abound everywhere, but not all opportunities are for you. Now there are opportunity in the e-commerce. There are opportunity in network marketing. There are opportunity in hospitality. The hospitality in this dimension means food industry. Because whatever happened under the sun, people will eat. Whatever happened under the sun, people will communicate to their loved ones. Whatever happened under the sun, people will want to buy health product to take care of themselves. So, the business of the 21st century revolves around this. Whatever happened under the sun, men and women will see continue to eat. And people will see continue to buy drugs to feed their headache. So how can you position yourself in this business? By personally opening a business or invest in a business in this line that will give you an income regardless of what happened under the sun. This is my concern for you this morning. So for you to seize the moment, there are some things you need to do. Number one, you need to set a goal. You can grab opportunity at two levels. Opportunity can be the dream you have built in your mind or from the beginning of your life, or you could seize an opportunity that is coming up as times unfold and men and women are what? Seeking other opportunity. So, at the moment, opportunity abound in e-commerce. What is happening now is that people want to buy things, but they don't want to leave their houses or their offices to buy anymore because they want to avoid contact with other people. So how can you position yourself to create a platform where a buyer and a seller meet themselves? You don't need a product, but you need just to create a platform where the buyer and seller meet themselves. Let me give you an example of this so that you will understand. 80% of the product that are sold in Jumia and Konga, Nigeria, are not owned by Jumia and Konga company. They are independent distributors selling their product through the platform. I've always mentioned this example about 2 to 3 times now. Uber do not own a car. Uber did not own a phone company. But Uber create a platform where the person who wants to get to someone and the person who have a motor or a vehicle can meet themselves. And today, Uber is very rich. The Zoom media example I mentioned earlier. Now, the Zoom company don't own a phone, neither does he own any maybe training outlet. But what do? They create a platform where the trainer and the trainee can talk to themselves. They create a platform where a pastor and his audience can meet themselves. They create a platform where employer and employee can meet themselves in the cloud. And what is happening today? They are smiling to bank. So my brother, you don't need to have money to create business in the 21st century. The earlier you register this, the better for you. I hope not to keep this broadcast for long today. But the first point on how to seize the moment is that you need to set a goal. Few days ago, we posted on our timeline that the genesis of every great achievement begins with an idea. Idea give birth to a goal. A goal produces passion. Action generates an action. Action produces results. And result produces success. And nobody can successfully argue against success. That is how to go. So when an idea or opportunity is passing by, seize the opportunity that resonates with your passion. Set a goal around that opportunity. When you set a goal, what happened to that? You need to make your goal specific. Make it long term, make it short term, and make it medium term. Because of what is happening in the world today, creating a goal according to the year, month, week, day, and hour will simplify your work. Move from there. You have to set a plan. By setting a plan, What do that mean? After you set a goal, the next thing you need to do is to set a plan. By planning, you look into the future of what you want to do with a hope of what to do, how to do it, with whom to do it, and how to do it. In planning, you look into the future of what you want to do, how to do it, with whom to do it, where to do it, and with what to do it. So when you are planning, you travel from the intangible realm to the intangible realm, and you tap from the current that is available in the tangible realm or in the intangible realm, and you bring information from the intangible realism to the tangible realism. And then in the tangible realism is where you put your pen to biro or to paper, and then you craft one by one what you have in mind to do. That is planning. So there is a saying that 90% of the business that start every year failed. But a man who planned before he ventured out, if he failed, he will go back to his drawing board and he will check and see what is not right, and he will be able to correct it. But a man who don't have a plan will not have anything to correct. So in planning, you draw material from the invisible realm to the practical realm. So planning is very key at the moment. Once you seize an opportunity, you set a goal, you need to draw a plan. Don't draw a plan in your head. You could forget because you have a lot of things. So when an idea dropped, try to grab it in a piece of paper, grab it on your phone note. Many of us carry phone on our hands, but we don't utilize or maximize it. You have a function of your phone where you can grab anything as idea dropped in your mind. So please use that. It's very key. And then after you've set a plan, you need to do what? Discover your strength. Before I mention that point, the next point after you set a plan is for you to prioritize. When you prioritize your plan, what happens is that I want to achieve certain goal, I want to build a business that will give me so amount of financial return by the year 2025 or by the year 2030. You have set that goal and you have planned on how to get there. In prioritizing, you need to put the first thing first. When you are prioritizing, it's like a layer. You put the first thing first, the second thing, the third thing, and the last thing. So when you prioritize your work, it helps you to track the sequential arrangement of events that will actually lead to the goal at the end of the day. So prioritizing your activities give you a clear direction of how to go about it. And then it also helps you on a bit by bit of how to go about it. And when you miss a point, it's easy for you to do what? To track it. So you need to have a time bound for a lot of things. And it's when you are prioritizing, that is when you will be able, okay, maybe I'm talking a lot of abstract now. Listen. For example, I mentioned last week, I wanted to rent an apartment this year. How do I prioritize my plan to get it done? The first thing is that I want to rent an apartment that will cost me nothing less than 450 to 500,000, and I have only 30,000 in my account. Where are the priority? Or how do I set a priority to get money done? The first thing I need to do is not just to go and borrow money, is to prioritize how much I have, and then plan that this is the total money I need, and then speak to the agent. And then after speaking to the agent, I now look for the money that I am going to borrow. And then after looking for the money I want to borrow, before I have to speak to the people who want to help me, So I don't need to speak to people who want to help me first before getting the one I want to get myself. You see some priority here. So that helped that goal, and it was achieved within a very short period of time. So I planned this year to travel to Abuja, our federal capital, to do our book launch. The plan was actually for the month of March. But during the month of March, the story of COVID is already hitting the air. So we decided to change that plan. But because we have it as a plan, we have now changed it and say by October, if the COVID is out, we can now go. But if by October the COVID is not out, then we will still look for a way we can put that goal, because we have already crafted on a paper, we will not forget. If we can't do it physically, then we could look for a way that we could do it online, because our book is also available on Amazon. So we could do a book launch online and then direct people there to buy. Or we could create a link to our drive, that is Google Drive, where someone within our community or within the locality can buy online. All we need to do is to send the person a link, and then the person download the book directly from our Google Drive without having to go through the process of going to Amazon and then have to ship it, paying the shipping costs all the way from a US down here. So these are what? Strategies. And as we prioritize, this is what we do. If this one fails, we do the next. So in prioritizing is what some people call plan A, B, and C. When you prioritize, you'll be able to draw out plan A, B, and C. I hope I'm not talking too much this morning, because I don't really want to talk a lot this morning. But I want to highlight this point and then create some curiosity in your mind to go and think of what you need to do, or the opportunity you need to seize at the moment. Because we are talking about seize the moment. A lot of opportunity available for you to choose. But if you want to seize your moment, choose the opportunity that resonates with your passion. I say that one more time. So, after you set your priority, now you need to be picky. The word picky here means you need to pick, or you need to choose. So, what that means is that, you may not be physically be able to work 24/7. It is only computer that work that way. Although some people work 24/7 for 3 days, but no man can go beyond that. If you go beyond that, you did really break down. So you need to do what? To be picky. And you need to select, and you need to pick. So when I talk about a select and pick, how do you do this? You need to pick your time. Some people are good at doing what they do in the morning. For example, like me, if I want to get the best of reading, I do the reading early in the morning when I have not done any other thing. So if you want to get the best of reading, what do? You need to do what? Do it in the morning if you are like me. So there are some other people who do work best in the night. So if you are in that category, you need to do what? To be able to understand yourself. And then you pick or choose your time wisely so that you'll be able to cover what you want to do. And then in picky, you also need to choose your location. There are some people that they work better in the comfort of in the office environment. Some people work better in their houses. And some people work better even at the backyard of their house. So you need to understand the location that best help you. Listen to what I discovered. During this COVID-19, what I come to discover is that the work I go to office to do for 8 hours, or sometimes 7 hours due to traffic on the way and so on, I quickly wake up in the morning. By 7 o'clock, I'm already before my table. Everything is set. I take a cup of coffee or whatever I'm taking early in the morning, and I begin my work. Before 12 o'clock, I am done. That is within 4 hours. Or within 3 to 4 hours. I'm done with the work I'm supposed to do for that day. That is the work I go to office to do for 8 hours. So to me, COVID has helped me to discover more of myself again. So you need to pick. Select the location that best for you. If you're a kind of person who like to go to waterside, go there. For those of us who know University of Lagos, I studied there by the special grace of God. I remember in those days when it is in the noon and I want to read something and it's not getting to my head and I don't want to go home or go to library or any other place, I will just go to Unilag Waterfront. Those of you drive on Third Mainland Bridge, those of you live in Lagos, Nigeria, you drive on Third Mainland Bridge, you'll be looking at the University of Lagos at the outskirts of the water. I'll just go to waterfront. All I do is look at the waterfront. Wait, why? As the water is flowing, something in my head is coming down. It comes down. Within few minutes, my whole head and my brain will settle down, and I will get the gist of the material I'm reading at that time. So look for location that suits you. There are some projects that you work on sometimes that you don't want to stay in a noisy environment. You need to do something about it. You need to move. You need to shift location. Then another thing you need to do is that you need to pick a subject depending on what you are working on. The best way to go about it is likely to change. So for example, if you are like me, if I go into office in the morning, I always try to focus on my work. I do the best from 8 to 1 p.m. Once it's 1 p.m., my head begins to run aground. I lack focus at that time. I need to go on break maybe for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, or something, just play on something else outside the work. Then my head will calm down. Once it's 4 o'clock, from 4 o'clock to evening, I can do the best of my job. So I have discovered myself and my time zone on the subject I'm working on. But I can do well in making phone call between that 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So if I get to office and I have a business of making a lot of phone calls on a particular day, I leave that. I focus on the work that has to do with the computer, have to do with analysis, has to do with my reconciliation and so on. Forget about the work I involve. And then once I'm done with that and it get to the time where I'm tired, then I go to phone calls because I can do a lot of phone calls in the afternoon. I don't get tired of talking on time. So you see, that is the way to arrange your subject of work and then your location and your time. And then we need to also pick your stress level. There are some people that could be so worn out in the middle of the project that they will lack concentration. You need to understand yourself. So your stress factor has to be very, very important to you. You need to think and you need to look within on how you can do this. You need to simply be aware of yourself, and then you have to make sure that you don't over prioritize and then put something off to the time that you'll be stressed up. Please try as much as possible to help yourself with that. Very quickly, I need to move. Point number 5. You need to prepare for anything. By this I mean you need to prepare for surprises. The biggest surprise of humanity at the moment is COVID-19. In fact, I was wondering a few days ago, why is it that all the prophets all over the world, why is it that no single prophet was able to warn us about the COVID-19? I was wondering. So my brother, listen to this. Every man is ignorant in one way. If you don't believe what I said, listen to this one. A young man once was boasting that he is a graduate of a Bible school, that you could ask him any question. And then the young man walked up to him gently and said, okay, if you're a graduate of a Bible college, let me ask you this question. And he said, during the time that Paul and Silas were arrested and put in the prison, who was the DPO of the police station at that time? And then the young man said, I have not studied up to that level. Listen to this. Though that is on a trivial level, but the truth is that every man is ignorant at some level. So you need to prepare for surprises. Nobody ever think that the year 2020 will get us to where we are. It has bring some dangerous opportunity and it has bring some dangerous setback. Thousands of lives are lost all over the world. Businesses are struggling. In fact, the biggest hit is the airline industry. But what can we say? You need to prepare for surprises. It is called miscellaneous when you are planning. Maybe this is what I'm going to be talking about next week. Miscellaneous. Maybe. Let me move fast. So you need to prepare for unexpected. Because in life, no condition is permanent. You may be happy today, but tomorrow you could be sad. You could be sad today. Tomorrow you could be the happiest person. So you need to prepare for surprises. Yes. Let me tell you a sad story of a woman I listened to some time ago. That woman sent her only son overseas to study. In 90s, where people who goes overseas and return become great men. And the child was returning, and the woman went to the bank of the river to receive his son, who was on the high sea. The son was already on the high sea and looking at his mother at the bank of the river. And the mother was looking at her child. In the excitement, the young man stood at the edge of a ship that he was traveling through, and he was waving hand to his mother, and his legs slid. The young man fell into the water, and he died. He was lost in the water till today. Few months later, the mother of that young man was in the bank of the river, trying to drain the entire river to see her son. My brother, life is full of up and down. Life is full of surprises. It might caught you unaware. So you need to prepare your mind. The biggest way you could prepare for unexpected is to prepare your mind. Prepare your finances. Those are the two ways. Some people have committed suicide already. In fact, in our country, Nigeria, it has become a serious debacle of rape all over the country at the moment. People are getting unwanted pregnant, contracting dangerous diseases here and there. But people who have their mind refined, they will produce business so that in the next 5 to 10 years, the result of COVID-19 in their own life will become what? Become billionaire, building wonderful business and grabbing amazing opportunity and move on. But those who don't have a thought of surprises in their life will go into cocoon forever. My brother, listen to the last point. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. When life hits you down, don't fall and face down. Fall and look up, because if you can look up, you can get up. So you need to challenge yourself. You need to take some time to observe yourself, to observe your pattern, and to observe your schedule. I have a plan for this year. I try to look at it once in a week. It's very important. If you have a plan, try to make sure you look at your plan for the year, not less than once in a week. Some people look at their own 3 times in a week. It is only in planning that you become specific. So you need to challenge yourself from time to time. Challenge yourself by reading a new book. Challenge yourself by listening to a new motivation. Challenge yourself by getting a mentor. Challenge yourself by looking up to someone who is doing better than you in school. Challenge yourself by looking up to someone who is doing better than you in your workplace. Challenge yourself by looking to someone who is doing better than you in your place of worship. Challenge yourself by getting acquaintance with a friend in your neighborhood. Challenge yourself. When you challenge yourself, your mind will grow. And then when your mind is grow, you are highly positive. Things will not put you down easily. Listen to this. The greatest asset you have in your life is your mind. And listen to this one again. You are the most important human being on earth. Until you come to that realization, life will be a mirage. So wake up, my friend. Challenge yourself. Take what you need to take along yourself. And seize the opportunity. Stop romancing poverty. It is time to grab an opportunity that will give you a lifetime financial freedom. Do something about your life. Don't allow another COVID-19 or coronavirus to meet you the same way you are. Yes, it is not bad to be born poor, but it is bad to die poor, because to die poor is a sign of lack of knowledge. We live in an age where the knowledge is as close to you as your computer and your phone in your hand. Sort out for the best of opportunity. You will get one that will get you to your destination. But my first question this morning to you, do you have a destination? Do you have a goal? Do you even have a vision? Do you even have a dream? One of my quotes out there this morning say that the genesis of every great achievement begins with a dreamer. So what or all you got to do at the moment is to seize the moment. Opportunity abound everywhere. Seize the opportunity that resonates with your passion and pursue it to the later. If you don't give up, if you don't lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel, someday men will greet you, congratulations. But if you fail to take the bull by the horn, someday you will have yourself to regret. And your children will look at you and say, my father, when people were building and your age mate were building wealth, where were you? I pray at the end of your journey in life, your story will not be, I wish I have done this. I'm writing a post that I will be sharing with us next weekend, entitled, The Nuggets or the Lessons Men Need at the Age of 20 and They Never Learn until the age of 70. Let me leave you with this nugget, my brother and my sisters, my dear listeners. Many people die at the age of 25, but they are not buried until they are at the age of 75. Ask me, what do I mean? Because of failure or because of a mistake, many people have thrown in the towel on their goal. My brother, pick off your goal one more time. COVID-19 has come to give us another dimension to human relation and business engagement. The totality of the disadvantage of COVID-19 is nothing compared to the opportunity that has come with coronavirus. Even if I die today, I can say categorically that I have seized the little moment I have with COVID-19. This morning we have a large numbers of people listening to us here. And before you check back here in the next 2 weeks, you have nothing less than 300 to 500 people listening to this broadcast. COVID-19 has opened our eyes to a different dimension to human behaviors, human engagement, and human ways of doing business. Go and prosper. As long as the heaven and the earth remain, and you are a child of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, you will eat the best of the land. No matter the economy of the jungle, the lion never eat the grass. I pray for you, no matter the economy of your nation, you will eat the best of the land. It is well with you, now and evermore. Go in this thy might and conquer the world. Benson Adima, remain your in-house motivational speaker. I centered on personal development, peak performance, and life coach. I'm reaching you live and direct from Lagos, a commercial city in Nigeria, here in West Africa. God bless you. Thank you for being there. Same time next week. Thank you.